Is building in the house, and welcome back once again to the Canadian Bro Show.
Hello.
All things Canadian with Pauly and Johnny. The handsome gentleman to my left and your right, wearing the Canadian toque, of course, is the one and only, the legend, the co-host with the most, one of the greatest writers I know in Canada, Mr. John Leister. Johnny, how you doing today?
I'm fine, Pauly. How are you? Happy Sunday.
Yeah, I'm very excited, everyone. For those that haven't been to the Canadian Bro Show before, my name is Paul Bale. I'm the founder and host of the Canadian Bro Show, and this is a really fantastic episode. We're very excited and very proud to have this experience doing episode 6, which is the first iteration of the Canadian Bro Show, and there's 3 iterations, and I'll explain those very quickly. Johnny and I have done 60 on all things Canadian with Pauly and Johnny, and it's a deep dive into Canadian pop culture, and it's we have quite a varied a selection of topics that we enjoy, and our most recent that are on the ticker below is we did an episode on Stan Lee, and another episode with Keith Bickford. He came back for the 3rd time. And then we just completed the second iteration, which is all basketball from the Hoop Junkies, Pauly and Raleigh. For those that don't know, not only am I the founder and host of the Canadian Bro Show, but I used to play professional basketball about 26 years ago, and I'm a hoop junkie. And so the second iteration, we've done 39 episodes. 40 will be done tomorrow. And so altogether at the Canadian Bro Show in 1 year, I'm very proud, very proud. And our episode is called A Kind Christmas Holiday and Happy New Year Experience. A reflection.
Merry belated Christmas, everyone.
I'm telling you, and it's an experience. We filmed this episode already, but we had technical issues, and Johnny and I had to film.
The Matrix.
Yeah, no doubt. That was largely my fault, but it happens. And having a malleable, incredible co-host like Johnny and Trent, and all of the kind guests that have taken time, and all of the people that have subscribed to the show, the Canadian Bro Show. Well over 100. We really appreciate it. We're on our goal to get 500 subscriptions, so please be kind, share, comment. We'll answer every and all comments. And this episode is an exploration of Canada. What is it like to be Canadian? It's Oh Canada, episode 60, and we want to talk about essentially what our reflection as Canadians, being a couple of 60-year-old semi-retired chaps, looking back on their year in Canada and what we've done, and we're so proud to have done 100 episodes in a year.
Grief, Charlie Brown.
It is absolutely incredible, and certainly many thanks to my 2 co-hosts with the most, Mr. John Leister and Mr. Trent Rowley. Trent's in St. Paul, Alberta right now, probably in a thong, having an eggnog, sitting in his jacuzzi in 3 feet deep on the 16th hole of St. Paul's golf course. Trent, we love you, and happy holidays to you and the wifey. I hope the thong is not riding the crack. In the meantime, I just created a little opening monologue, Johnny. If you could kindly allow me to shamelessly showcase some of my writing skills, as limited as they might be. And to start off I'm just going to, we have yes, thank you, Johnny. We do have, as the psychopath down south loves, the one thing he loves about Canada is our national anthem. And we have a fabulous national anthem, unlike many other countries. I want to start off today's monologue on episode 60 on Canada, Oh, Canada, our home and sometimes slightly overpriced native land. Yes. I had to go there already, Johnny. I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's a huge topic, and of course, my singing skills are obviously. I know I don't quit your day job.
They need to bring back Canadian Idol, bro.
I'm telling you, it was terrible. But you know what? We got to take ourselves. It's
Simon Cowell, where are you?
This episode 60 is about comedy. It's about laughter. It's about joy. Yes, it's serious. Yes, there's a lot of issues in this great country. But in the meantime, Johnny and I are going to have some fun with this because it's been a fantastic year and we appreciate 100 episodes on The Canadian Bro Show at The Canadian Bro Show on YouTube. Please subscribe. Check out all of our shows out. Comment, like, subscribe. And welcome back to episode 60 of The Canadian Bro Show. And today we're doing something special where there's no yelling, although Johnny does indiscriminately shoot at me. It just comes out of nowhere. No doom.
I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
No doom scrolling, whatever the hell that is. No comment section warfare. Just a real, honest 2025 review of the top issues that Canadians are actually talking about. And yes, we love to talk. We love to talk. And with a little perspective, a little humor, and yes, sometimes even a little optimism, Johnny. We need to sprinkle that in some of our...
Optimistic, shall we?
Let's sprinkle that in some of our holiday desserts that we've been devouring. Certainly I have. I don't know about you. I've definitely put on 7 or 8 pounds of Christmas goodness. I just want to tell you about the optimism of Canadians because...
Can I interject just very, very briefly?
Sure.
Very briefly. I was at a restaurant this morning that serves just desserts. It's called Karma. Cheers.
Oh, you just had to, didn't you? I love it. That's awesome. But, let's be real. Canadians like Johnny and I, if you know anything about Canadians love to complain. Whether they admit it or not, they just honestly, if you're talking to somebody, they will be complaining, and they'll be totally oblivious that they actually, in fact, are complaining because they don't think they're complaining. They're just being Canadian, and we complain about housing prices while standing in our $1 million driveways. We complain about the car we drive because the Tesla power station is not near our neighborhood of choice. We complain about winter, and yet we live on the wet coast. Johnny's in Vancouver. That's the wet coast. It rains copiously in Vancouver, of course. One of our greatest things that Vancouver brings is rain. Gray, wet, cold rain. In Kelowna, however, it's a different ballgame. I'm looking at a little dusting of snow. We're in the top end of the Sonoran Desert.
It's actually sunny in Vancouver right now, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know. It's beautiful. I mean, it's like I was getting to the weather. Don't complain about the weather here. It's the West Coast. We're lucky. But then we secretly judge other countries for not surviving the winter conditions that 90% of Canada is going through every year. Okay, yeah, housing's expensive. Well, if you live in one of the best countries in the world, the second largest country in the world, that has zero immigration, why wouldn't you want to move here? Certainly not for the next 2 years. Because when they allow immigration back again, you can move here. So save up your money because you'll need it. And remember, it's Canadian dollars. It's like slightly better than Monopoly money. Not quite the American dollar. We get about 75 cents on the dollar if it's lucky. Look, okay, I understand. I understand, Johnny. I understand your complaints about groceries are completely out of control. They're up anywhere from 11 to 20% depending on what part of Canada you're in. Okay, I understand that. I certainly understand why you wouldn't care at all about the interest rates. Have been absolutely humbling because you're not in that market. However, the people that are, it is absolutely frightening what's going on. I understand that the healthcare system, once one of the strongest in the world, is now the wait times feel like you need a Netflix subscription, and you got to get on your phone to order snacks just to get through the 6-hour waiting to see somebody that's wearing a white jacket. And of course, you just to survive them. But that's the thing. Canada.
I got a complaint.
Canada, just wait. Canada's. You can complain after. I'm going to finish my opening monologue. But here's the thing. Canada isn't broken. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying Canada's broken. We're a young country. We're going through growing pains, and we have a new government. And thank God we have new leadership, because the lack of leadership and the last government to slide out of contention globally almost systematically destroyed the greatest country in the world in 10 years. However, things is looking a little bit more positive. We'll get into that later in the show. We're a country still figuring things out in real time. More people are choosing Canada because the rest of the world is absolute madness. More conversations on why they're choosing Canada is about fairness, about affordability. That's questionable. Depends where you are in Canada. And opportunity, which certainly there is opportunity here. There's no doubt about it. And more Canadians are actually paying attention because the 41 million people that fill out the second largest country in the world really care about this country. And it's elbows up, and we're proud Canadians, and we'll always be proud Canadians. And that's a good thing because when Canadians talk, things eventually change. Maybe slowly, maybe certainly politely, but they do change. This episode isn't about fear. It's about context. It's not about outrage, Johnny. It's about understanding. It's about forgiving. It's about not Canada's done, but Canada is rebuilding, and it's evolving, and it's growing at an accelerated rate, regardless of the fact that there's no immigration for the next 2 years.
I didn't know that. Why is that?
I'll tell you later in the episode. So today, we're counting down the 10 biggest issues that Canadians cared about in 2025, and this is based on my own research. This is not my own opinion. I am writing this, but I'm studying. I'm doing research. Johnny and I, we don't have a crystal ball. We are not 100% correct. We do have opinions because we're fun-loving Canadian guys, and that's why we're called the Canadian Bro Show. All things Canadian with Pauly and Johnny. And Canadians cared about in 2000. The ones that sparked debates at dinner tables or your local bar or group chats or at hockey rinks. And
you're wrong, I'm right, damn it.
And yes, even in lineup at Tim Hortons, which of course Johnny has a lifetime membership, I believe.
Starbucks, actually.
Oh, pardon me. I thought you had both. And some of these topics are very serious, let's face it, and some are extremely uncomfortable. And some will say, well, yep, that's very Canadian, eh? Well, it is. And if it is Canadian, this is why we have the Canadian Bro Show, because through it all, remember this, we still live in one of the best countries on earth. And the fact that we're talking about these issues means that we care. So let's get into it, shall we? This is Oh Canada, eh? Welcome to the Canadian Bro Show with Pauly and Johnny, episode 60. Johnny, how would you like to start us off?
Okay, well, I have a complaint, and then I'll get on to
Oh, no. Sorry, there's no complaints on the Canadian Bro Show.
A few months ago, and I've talked about this before, I severely injured myself weightlifting. I pulled my groin, my hip, and my quadricep, triple threat at the same time, or hat trick as we like to say. And I could not get a doctor. I went to maybe a dozen, and I didn't really feel like that I needed to, because I felt like I was getting better. But my employer was really pressuring me in a good way. I know out of the kindness of their hearts, they want me to be healthy. They were kind of pressuring me but they wanted me to prove that I had been to a doctor. So fine, and they're absolutely right to do that, because I really didn't want to go. I couldn't. And they all rejected me. They said, no, we're not taking our patients. I'm like, are you kidding me? I heard this like a dozen. This is the first time I've ever talked about this. It just popped into my head now because you made me think of it. I went to like a dozen.
You did tell me about this in a previous episode, though.
Yeah, I did. In medical centers, and they all rejected me. Are you kidding me? Like, you tell me that I was lying, like bleeding, and like I couldn't believe, I could not imagine such a thing. So that's something that needs to be addressed.
So right away, the first concern as a Canadian is that what Johnny's saying is, and everyone boasts about it in Canada, is that our healthcare system in Canada is, for the most part, 100% free, really. You need insurance.
Tax, we pay it with our
we pay it with our tax. And it is operated by the Crown Corporation, the federal, and then, of course, we have all the provincial provinces of Canada as well. And then we have a municipal government, all three levels of government, of course, in Canada in almost 180 plus years, have never found a way to understand how to work together. And this has been the issue with a country that is the second largest country in the world with only 41 million people. But
still a lot of space.
We have a ton of space to grow. We've got a lot of things to learn as a country. And we haven't had leadership in this country for decades. And we went 10, 11 years ago, we went from the fifth strongest country GDP in the world. And if you look at what Canada can offer the world, you can see why there's certain countries that are interested in wanting to have everything that we have.
Our natural resources.
Our natural resources, water, oil. We have over 25% of the fresh water of the entire planet in Canada, right? And this is not a boast. This is why other countries are salivating at what they can get from us. We have potash. We have more fertilizer than any other country in the world, including Russia. We have more lumber than any other country in the world. We have access to all three major ocean channels in the world, the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Northern, through the Bering Strait. We are one of the few countries in the world that actually the vast majority of every other country in the world actually respects and likes. Because
true.
we're true Canadian, eh?
Every time I've traveled, when I tell people I'm Canadian, they lose their minds.
Yeah.
Every time I've been to America, or I was in Australia last year, I mentioned Canada,
Yeah.
and it's like their whole bodies become electrified. Like, people love us.
Well, I mean, why do you think that is, Johnny?
I encountered.
Why do you think that is?
Because I just think we have a reputation for kindness. You know, we're not invading other countries, and nobody seems to want to invade us. Knock on wood for the time being.
Don't even mention that, because that's going to come up in this episode somewhere. We have to look over to the north. We have Russia, and to the south we have the U.S., and then everywhere else we have China. I mean, it's like, it's frightening, bro.
All inconsistencies and all fallacies aside, we're a pretty darn successful country. I mean, again, on a comparative scale, economically, and even with our healthcare system, despite the ridiculous fact that I can't get a doctor, all this sort of nitpicks aside, generally, I think we've got it going on. We're setting an example. You know, most Canadians are employed. We do have homeless people. There's homeless people all over the world.
Everywhere in the world.
Most of us are gainfully employed. I think most of us are decent. You know, we all have our bad days, but I think most of us are living our lives as best we can. We can always do better, but we can always do a lot worse too. And again, I just think we're setting an example, a very high bar that is the envy of many people around the world. We just don't have the kinds of opportunities.
No, I love it. And this is what I love about having Johnny, is that he's always good for an opening after the monologue. And even if the monologue was slightly suspect at best, Johnny's able to come up and talk about something that's really important to him. And this is something that comes from his heart. He's a writer as well, but I mean, Johnny's experiencing this like many other Canadians, and what he's talking about is absolutely prevalent, and it's a huge problem, and it needs to be addressed. And the next thing I'm going to mention is something directly correlated and related to what Johnny had just mentioned, and being in real estate myself as an investor initially, and then I became a licensed realtor, and of course, as an investor, I became a landlord before I became a licensed realtor. So I have the full scope of understanding real estate in Canada, which will be the third iteration of the Canadian Bro Show, and Paul, Bale, and guests with real estate solutions. You can see my vancityurbanliving.ca is my website. It's on the ticker below. And the next thing that needs to be talked about, and whether you're in real estate or not, Johnny, or whether you're renting or you own, this is the topic of conversation throughout Canada, and that is housing affordability and the absolutely inflated cost of living. In the last 5 years, our cost of living has gone up, and this is going to be a positive show. We're going to have fun, and we always have fun. At the end of the day, these are problems and issues that all Canadians are facing right now, including myself and Johnny. And for those that have the finances to get through it, they still are dealing with it as well. And not everybody has the finances to deal with the cost of being in the greatest country in the world. And there is a cost associated. However, if somebody wants to comment on Johnny, will be able to share with you one end of the spectrum of how to actually survive in a city like Vancouver, and I can share with you the opposite end of the spectrum, or everything in between, because there's room for everyone. However, you just got to wait 2 years, because the federal government's not allowing any immigration. Because the last government, the last Liberal government under...
so they closed the borders, really?
Under Tulip Toes, the drama teacher Tulip Toes. He systematically destroyed our country, or certainly did the best job he possibly could.
What was his rationale?
And he let in, 3-4 million foreigners, students on student visas, and then just virtually lost track of 2.5 million of them in a 4-year period. Nobody knows what they are.
So
Yeah.
not finding anything
So
that-
they could be working for your business. You could be working for their business. We don't know. But in the meantime, to settle things, because housing affordability and the cost of living is a huge problem, so the government, in their infinite wisdom, decided to not let any foreigners in. We are desperately need.
That sounds absurd.
It is absolutely bonkers. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. We need
such
doctors.
extreme
We
shit.
need nurses.
One-
I've got clients that are a doctor in Malaysia and two different types of doctors, doctorate degrees in Asia, and this incredible chap who's part Malaysian and part Filipino, has a young family. He drives a cab, and
Wow.
he's a legitimate doctor, and he actually passed the. You can take this thing in Canada to get your citizenship
Like
and start the whole thing. Yeah, and you can challenge the doctorate, one of their courses, or whatever they do, and he passed it. So and at the end of the day, he's still driving a cab.
Wow.
So I mean, we need to bring educated people into this country. We have the greatest country in the world. We need the greatest people in the world. We need educators. We need lawyers. We need doctors. We need politicians. We need business people. We need tech
Maybe not
people.
too many politicians.
Well,
I have enough of those.
No, yes, that's so true.
Politicians are like oil and water in Canada.
No, what I meant to replace the ineptitude of the ones we have, because they're just useless for the most part. But this is an issue. Home prices, rent, mortgage renewals, big problem. There's a huge mortgage renewal in Canada 2026. Out of 41 million people, 14 to 15 million Canadians actually have a mortgage. And approximately 60% of those 13 million people have a variable mortgage that's coming up to its term. And it will double. Now, variable has gone down, but fixed is going up, because that's based on the bond market. So everybody's panic stricken. And Canadians, the one thing Canadians will do is they will not default on their mortgage. They will simply sell their recreational cabin on the lake, or their second car, to keep their mortgage. So
That's kind of sad.
it really is. But you know what? I would rather keep my house than the material things that, at the end of the day, what's the most important thing? If you can afford all those things, great, but it's just not reasonable. Younger Canadians are feeling left out. What I mean by younger is as old as in their 40s, Johnny. Look at what's going on in Canada and think there's absolutely no way they can get into the housing market. What's the point? They're still living. They had to move back home and move into their parents' basement just to save a down deposit. So this is another problem. And of course, at the end of the day, the positive thing from all this, Johnny, is the rental market is the best it's been in 30 years.
I'm very lucky.
And oh my God! And this is why I brought up your situation, because Johnny lives in the best neighborhood, in the epicenter of the Lower Mainland of Vancouver, British Columbia, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Trust us, we grew up in Kitsilano.
Yeah, we grew up Kitts Beach, and
he's in Kitts Beach. He's in Kitts Point, and Johnny lives, and I won't even say what he pays, but it is criminally low, and he's very fortunate.
I don't mind saying it's just under $1,200 a month.
Yeah, and his building has an outdoor pool, and he can walk to Kids Point.
Everyone I know, when they tell them that, like, their eyes fall out of their heads. They're like, "I want to move in there," because they're all paying like $1,500.
Yeah, it's an amazing location, and there's a lot of growth.
When I moved in there in 2002, my rent was $670, so it's almost doubled.
I know, but still, to be able to get what Johnny has in Kitsilano, in the epicenter of the Lower Mainland, for under $1,200 a month is ridiculous.
It's a pretty big apartment too. It's a 1-bedroom.
Yeah. Oh, that's really. I thought yours was a studio. Okay.
It's 1-bedroom. Yeah.
So, what was the next thing you want to bring up on your feeling of Canada and what's happened? What are things that Canadians are starting to notice about Canada this year? Is there anything that you've noticed? You've talked to people. You're in the sales and service industry, like I am as well. And what are people telling you? What are their concerns? Anybody sharing something with you?
Well, I have a couple specific stories on my phone here that I could maybe mention. One I have here is, I think it's a very positive story. A group of reformed gang members from Winnipeg visited the Yukon for May 26th to 30th, leading workshops that blend culture, ceremony, and land-based practices to help youth reconnect with their roots and choose healthier paths forward. You know, I go to my Starbucks every morning. and I chat with people before I do my writing. And again, it's just a very positive vibe. And I like to think that everything I've done since 2019, not to brag about it or to boast or to beat my chest, but I like to think that it has inspired other people, particularly people my age.
Johnny, most definitely, and it's okay to be proud.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think pride, they say pride is a sin. I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
I think artificial pride is it kind of just makes you look stupid. But I think that if it's
Yeah.
genuinely earned, again, as long as you're not being a jerk about it, I think that pride is right up there with love in terms of being one of the most wonderful feelings. So I feel like that I've maybe inspired some people over the years, particularly people who are our age, because there are a lot of people our age who've just get thrown in the towel. They just like, you know what? I had all these decades to do something with my life, and I'm still just spinning my wheels. So I'm just going to watch Netflix and eat pizza for the rest of my life. And I'm living proof, and you're living proof, and many other people out there are living proof that no matter how old you are, as long as you have some cognitive ability and a ton of passion, you can make dramatic, significant changes in your lives. I think Canadians need to be a little bit more self-centered in a positive way, but also more mindful of other people, other people's feelings, other people's, we want to be self-centered, but not to the point where we're a-holes about it.
No, not at all. And we're not a-holes. And the reason I want to just interject Johnny, because I 100% what he's saying is so important. And I think often the subjective interpretation of someone looking at someone that might be considered extroverted or arrogant, but in fact really is hyper intelligent and uber savvy and confidence and mindful, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really what Johnny's trying to say, I think. And I think it's really important that we focus on, the positivity that these people are bringing. I mean, revel in somebody's intelligence, listen and understand and learn, right, and hear. And you'll be amazed to how much you can learn from people, because trust me, I like to surround myself in all aspects of my life with people that I enjoy their company. I'm not at all intimidated by powerful women or powerful men or someone that has incredible wealth or somebody that has incredible. Yeah. They're so poor.
Envy is the worst emotion, that people are just walking around with like an albatross around their neck. That's why there's crime. A lot of people commit crime because they're envious of other people's success rather than being inspired.
At the Canadian Bro Show, we are all about compassion and empathy and kindness, and we truly believe that, and we encompass that in all aspects of our life. And anytime that I catch myself not participating in that, I get really upset at myself for falling out.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
I have my moments, but you get yourself back on track as long as you have.
Getting back to Canada, for those that don't know and want to move here, if you have money, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. And you can have money anywhere in the world and live in some of the best places in the world. The top 50, 60 cities in the world are some of the most expensive, if not the expensive, and Vancouver's not even in them. So with your British pounds or your francs or your sterling, you can come to Canada and you can have an amazing life. And there's so much opportunity here, and we need doctors, we need nurses, we need everything. We need lawyers, we need jurists, we need everyone, man. We need construction people, we need architects, we need people in the hospitality industry, we need everybody, and we have all the room. So come to Canada. It is Canada, episode 60, A Kind Christmas of Holidays and New Year's Special 2025, a year in review. All things Canadian with Pauly and Johnny.
Let me ask you this, Pauly. Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
They're the same as the last 3 or 4 years, but the one thing I do want to talk about, and that is I want to lose the Christmas weight that I've gained. I want to get down to 185, and I'm about 20 pounds away from that right now, so that's my goal, to get back working out every day, and to build the Canadian Bro Show channel, to learn how to be a better host and a better content creator.
Impossible, bro.
And a better friend, a better husband, a better realtor. I got so many things. Nothing changes. I always challenge myself, and every year I go at it. And I have to admit, I took December off, and I was like, I don't even care. I slept, I relaxed, I didn't work out every single day. I worked out 3-4 times a week. And at the end of the day, I'm so excited that We're here in the fourth quarter, the last couple of days at 225. But at the end of the day, Canada is not all, sunshine and hugs and loves and kisses.
Rainbows and unicorns.
It's a very, very challenging place to live. Our Canadian dollar's devalued. Our country is run by really just an unbelievable amount of morons. So many of them.
But you like the new prime minister, right?
I like the leadership that our new prime minister, that comes from the same party that destroyed Canada, by the way. However, he actually understands business acumen and has leadership qualities that, frankly, very few leaders in the entire world. When Carney walks onto the stage, people listen.
Yeah, this should be a prerequisite for anyone who wants to lead a country. They should have a background in business. It's just my opinion. And I thought they should have a background in the military. I think that someone who's a good military leader is the right kind of person to lead a country. That's just
it's funny you say that because Carney has that. Carney not only has multiple degrees at multiple Ivy League schools, including Harvard and Yale.
Harvard.
And he has his MBA. He has his accounting credit. He was head of the. He was in charge of BRICSnet. He was head of the Bank of United Kingdom. He was head of the Bank of Canada. Every single person that he has connections with, and that's why in less than 10 months, what he's done, nobody in Canadian history has done what Mark Carney, whether you like him or not. Is what they've done, what he's done, and spearheaded, he hasn't stopped, is unprecedented in the history of Canada and our young country. We couldn't be in a better place. So on a positive note, I will say that. However, unfortunately, when in Western Hemisphere, the top 6 to 10 billionaires or trillionaires and the corporations they own, they run basically 98% of the world, and they represent.
Is that the thing? Is a trillionaire? Are there people who have like that much money?
Yeah.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
Yeah. There's criminals, and there's actually people that supposedly aren't criminals, but at the end of the day, the issue is regular folks in Canada, regular folks in anywhere in the world are having problem with inflation. Inflation has gone up 11 to 28% in the last 4 years, and wages have not gone up. And we've talked about that many times, and you will absolutely agree with me that that's the case.
I completely disagree. No, I'm just kidding.
And everyday expenses, food prices, gas, insurance, shrinkflation, frustration. That's not just in the porn industry. That's actually in real life. And it's a problem, and nobody wants to shrink into nothingness. You want to be a grower. You want to show. You want to stand up and be proud. And unfortunately, the cost associated with doing that is very challenging. And the middle class is being evaporated, like when they did the euro. In my wife's Italian, and the lira used to be a fantastic currency before they joined. The European Union, and
that was a mistake.
And it was a massive mistake.
Yeah.
But by the way, in Rome, in Ostia, the 10th district of Rome, I can order a croissant, a coffee, and breakfast for half the price that I'll pay in Kelowna or Vancouver.
Oh, really?
In euro, I pay 60 cents on the dollar more, but you get a better quality and a better lifestyle and a better product. And you pay less.
There you go.
So this is the problem that Canada is going through. The other issue, Johnny, is I just want to bump this up because of time, is the immigration and population growth. There's zero immigration, as I mentioned, zero for 2 years, and there's zero population growth. The only population growth is going to come within the families, and of course, our age, boomers or thereabouts, people that are, Johnny and I are 60 plus. Of course, this is when you comment and say, my God, you guys are so handsome. There's no way you're 60 plus. We do appreciate that. And yes,
wearing a hat helps.
We would agree with you. Yes. Well, no, Johnny has to put the hat on because the lighting in the Vancouver Library is his chrome. It would be like you're looking at the sun, and it might be slightly uncomfortable. And you want to focus on his handsomeness, not his toque or bald head. I'm lucky to have hair. I'm not saying that because I'm mocking him. I'm just, life goes on.
Always mocking. He always does.
And then record immigration levels has passed. It's not happening. Strain on housing, that's not happening. That's why they stopped immigration, so they can get a control over the cost of living and start building more homes and find out where these 2.5 million people disappeared to. So they got some work. They got a lot of work. But there's also economic benefits and infrastructure pressure that needs to be alleviated. And of course, healthcare. Johnny brought up the very first thing that's important to him and many Canadians is our healthcare system is not perfect. It's broken. It's falling apart at the seams. It's antiquated, and it needs to be addressed instantly. And of course, the one thing the federal government, all levels of government could do is let doctors and nurses into our country and fast track them. Check their backgrounds, make sure they're legit. Get them in here.
Reasonable.
We need them, man. It's like it's a huge problem.
I just want to interject one point, if I may.
Sure.
This whole zero immigration is just going to encourage more illegal immigration.
Of course.
Right. That's another thing. Economic policies. What do? The crazy economic policies. They just create a black market.
Dude, in Canada, they would frown on drinking on Sunday because they thought everybody would be alcoholics, and then you raise your children. It depends on what culture you're in, and you give your son or daughter who's maybe 9 months, 10 months, 12 months old a sip of, I don't know, like sparkling wine or cider or whatever, even non-sparkling, and people say, "Oh my God, what are you doing? You're creating future alcoholics in our generation." Look. Travel the world, bro. Go look at different cultures. In Europe, it is absolutely not frowned upon. And guess what? They have less alcoholism.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
Isn't that? I mean, that's just another example of think outside the box. Yeah. Let's help people out. Let's stop being whiners and complainers and bitchers and moaners. Like, let's celebrate the extraordinary opportunity that we have as Canadians.
Well, we all know the good definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yeah, right. I mean, and at the end of the day, I'll go through these really quick because we're in a healthcare crisis, interest rates, debt, and financial crisis. Mortgage renewals, as I mentioned briefly, are hitting hard. Household debt anxiety, small business pressure. It's all happening in Canada. We are not the most perfect country in the world. However, we are the greatest country in the world. And there's so much room for improvement. But we have growing pains like any other country, and we're going through them.
We're only, 125 years old? Pretty young country.
No, about 180 almost, I think.
Oh, really?
And then we've got public safety, crime, and drug prices like everybody else in the world with fentanyl and all these weird drugs that are cheap and affordable. In British Columbia, believe it or not, our current government, the ineptitude of the NDP government, they actually want to give free drugs because it's really good quality, and they've checked it for cleanliness to the addicts, and that's decimating the downtown east side of Vancouver for 40 plus years.
A little enabling.
It's unbelievable, and that affects public safety, that affects our policing, that affects the ambulance workers, that affects the hospitals, that affects our streets, that affects the mail delivering. It's just, the opioid and fentanyl epidemic, Bale reform, debates, urban safety concerns. Let me just get through these quick because a lot of these are negative, but they're real. Climate change, wildfires, insurance. My goodness, don't even get me going on insurance. It's trying to destroy the real estate industry in the Western Hemisphere. Wildfires, floods, extreme weather. Rising insurance costs, climate preparedness, economy, Canada's economy and job security, recession fears, tech. Look, politics, trust, national unity, federal leadership fatigue, provincial versus federal tenants, Western alienation between, provinces like Alberta and Quebec's threatening separation. We should be coming together as the greatest country in the world. We should not be.
Did we ever grow up with that? Remember back when we were kids?
Oh my God, we've talked about this, Johnny. We've talked about this.
It's so crazy. Canada's breaking up. The end of the world. The sky is falling.
So, I mean, here we go. Number 10, Canadian identity and culture. Well, that's where it starts to get a little bit normal because we do have an identity. We have this great sovereign nation. Yes, it's part of the Commonwealth. Personally, I think we need to step away from the Commonwealth. And we can still bow to the Queen and King, but we don't need to give them hundreds of billions of dollars when we need every penny. And by the way, our new Prime Minister just gave $20 billion package to Ukraine. And here we're in catastrophic situations with our healthcare and education, and the judicial system of Canada is completely falling apart at the seams. So I'll just leave it at that, because I really wanted to talk about the year in review and have some laughs, and we did, and we talked about positivity. Unfortunately, the reality of today's world is just not the world it was yesterday. We're hoping that the world in the future is going to be a lot better. We still have basketball, we still have hockey, we still have a relatively honest media, if not slightly inept. We have amazing patriotism. We have a fantastic global image. We're well respected in this world. And at the end of the day, Johnny, let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
What does "Oh Canada," "Oh Canada," what does that even mean anymore? What does it mean to you?
It means everything. Well, look, I'm not a politically correct woke guy, and I kind of make fun of people who are sometimes, particularly in my writing. But look, I don't think you're going to get a country that's less homogenous than Canada. We are a mixed bag of nuts of every culture, of every ethnicity, of all the 10 million genders. When we were kids, there were only two. Apparently there's a Googleplex of genders now. I'm saying that with love. Don't be offended, viewers. But we're the most diverse.
Do you identify as John, or me, or him, or he?
No,
or
I'm a man. No. I don't play that game. In fact,
Okay.
I write about that sometimes.
I'm just curious, Johnny. I've never asked you.
When I read a news item, thank you for bringing this up, because it's a pet peeve of mine. And when I see it like a man or a woman referred to as they, to me that's straight out of 1984. I'm not. They is plural. Okay. This is the English language we're speaking, folks. Okay, it's not your version or my version. It is what it is.
Here at the Canadian Bro Show, we don't judge individuals. They're free to do and make every choice they want. We are only talking about our own subjective interpretation here at the Canadian Bro Show. Just want to make that, and we're a family channel. And Johnny is one of the most kind, malleable, generous souls I've ever met. So if he needs to go on a micro rant, let him. Don't judge him. Just be kind.
We have to use that in our reports when we refer to people. We have to use they. Like, if you say he or she, then it's like, you're worse than Hitler.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many. I don't know if there's too many people in the world worse than that.
I play the game, because I like my job, and I get it. I get why people play the game, because you have to choose your battles in life, right? And so if it's a winnable battle, stick up for yourself. Yep. But otherwise, just withdraw, just play along. And we all have to jump through hoops sometimes in life that we don't necessarily want to. But as long as I keep our eye on the ball and the big picture, and everything that I'm doing is a means to an end. 2025 for me was absolutely my most productive year of my entire life.
Wow.
I did more writing that year than all the previous 55 years of my career.
And we did 60 episodes. We probably did 70, but only 60 filmed.
We started the podcast last year. Well, you started the podcast, and when you brought me aboard, I was elated and grateful, and continue to be.
Me too. You have no idea, bro. I tell you all the time.
I feel like 2026 and what's ahead for us and for our viewers. Look, let's keep our cups empty. Let's learn from each other. Let's have goals. Let's set hard, specific goals for ourselves. And if we're not achieving those goals, then all we have to do is open our eyes and look around. Look for role models. Look at other people who've achieved. You want to lose weight? Go online and look at somebody who lost weight and see how they did it, and then try to copy them. Use what works for you. And I like to think that each day that passes is another day closer towards me achieving my goal of becoming a professional writer. I'm no William Shakespeare, but I know that my stories are absolutely worthy enough that the days ahead for me will be my main source of income. That's my goal for real.
Johnny's writing is so good that he actually even brought, did you bring a piece today? We're going to wrap things up because we've had a really great episode and we're about 45 minutes in. And Johnny, we like to incorporate Johnny's writing at the end of the episode because it's really that good. I believe in Johnny, and if I knew about how to be, if I knew how to be an editor and help you and help Jonathan and all these other writers, believe me, I'd do it, because there's so much talent out there and your writing's extraordinary. And before you read your writing, Could you give a brief synopsis on your main character
Sure.
and where in time, in place, and a little bit about your writing? Because I think before Johnny says this, I think honestly Netflix or one of these get him in a 70s, private
Quite frankly,
investigator in Manhattan or one of the boroughs.
Mm.
And honestly, wait till you hear this. And Johnny, before you read that, tell everyone where they can read and see you on Facebook, see you on YouTube. Where can they get your if they really enjoy it? Where before you start? Where?
Thank you so much. Well, my boy's named Lee Hacklin. He's a private investigator. He's in his mid-20s. He's handsome, fit. He's a smoker. He's a drinker. He's a skirt chaser. Very politically incorrect guy, but he has a heart of gold, and he likes to help people. And I started doing this in 2019. My books and short stories are available on Kobo. That's Kobo. Barnes & Noble, Apple. I have a Facebook group page called Johnny's Way. Everybody watching this podcast, join the party. And I write what I like to think are uplifting and inspirational essays about self-manifestation, and I read my stories into my phone, and I post videos onto my group page just about every darn day. And my YouTube channel, not to beat my chest about this, but I think I have 42,000 views the last time I checked. And what a world we're living in.
You got to get some of them on our show, bro.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's at capital J, John Leister, capital L, NT one dash NT1EW. It's a bit complicated. Just type in my name at YouTube and it'll pop
Don't
up.
make it complicated, Johnny. Make it easy. And by the way, before he starts, get ready. And say his name again.
Lee. His full name is Leland Hacklin.
There we go.
Okay, here we go. So I just started writing this one yesterday. It's called The Sandy and Sherry Sunshine Good Time, bless you, Variety Show.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
It's the theme for this one is Sonny and Cher. Remember watching Sonny and Cher back in the day?
I actually used to watch their show in the late 60s. Yeah, briefly. They were only on for 2 years, and when she dumped him for better, and she's still going. She's what, 78? And I just saw a photo with her 40-year-old boyfriend. I'm like, my goodness, I can't even think about that. Anyways,
okay, here we go.
I guess so. Yeah.
New York City, 1977. I was in my office. My one window was blessedly closed. My noisy and portable air conditioner was running and sounded like those muttering and incoherent, heard but not seen adults from Peanuts cartoons. I mean, animated specials. And unlike most specials, they really were special. What a catchy theme song. I was lost in my latest literary diversion, a treasury-sized reprint of Detective Comics number 27, which featured the debut appearance of the Batman, created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Nowadays, a lot of angry fans waste time and energy debating who deserves the most credit for creating their favorite characters. As Triumph the Comic Insult Dog likes to say, they will die alone. Pretty well, back in 1977, as I was turning the pages of this colorful wonder, I pondered the feasibility of Batman's utility belt. Holy all-purpose Batman. Ever since 1939, the Caped Crusader, Dark Knight, bleh. There's only one thing he hasn't pulled out of that belt, and that's a rabbit. How exactly does the man in a cape cavort around a city like an acrobat, pun intended, with a blowtorch, medical supplies, a grappling hook, and a chunk of kryptonite stuffed into his belt in case Superman loses his mind? Alex Trebek. The answer is, the laws of physics are irrelevant to this type of fictional character. Lee, me, that is a superhero. My savings account was overdrawn, my American Express card was maxed out, yet I always seemed to have enough money for the important things in life: beer, smokes, and comic books. The elevator doors down the hall slid open. A muscular middle-aged man clad in a Jack LaLanne-esque jumpsuit stepped out on his effing hands. Impressed? You bet I was, dear reader. He landed on his feet, then somersaulted up to my desk. He dusted off his hands and was shook. Ta-da! Cole Dover. No, I don't have a brother named Ben. Ha! I'm the founder of Star Power Talent and Management. I represent people you've heard of. Just saying, people like Sandy and Sherry. Lee Hacklin, that was quite an entrance, sir. I'm so sorry about Sandy. Soul Sandy Sanders was a late co-star of the Sandy and Sherry Sunshine Good Time Variety Hour. Sherry was his ex-wife. They were rock stars, actors, and comedians, what showbiz types like to call a triple threat. After their divorce, they continued to produce their weekly syndicated series, which was still a hit, which wasn't the least bit awkward for viewers and audience members alike, I kid. It was like watching mom and dad pretend to still love each other when they clearly didn't. Sherry was currently serving a life sentence at New York State Penitentiary for women. The jury agreed with the prosecuting attorney that she was Sandy's killer. According to her sister, who testified against her in court, Sherry, while walking into her Forest Hills located townhouse, found her in bed with Sandy, and Sherry shot him with a .45 she was legally allowed to carry in her Gucci purse. Do people still use that word purse in 2025? Spoiler warning, I'm still alive, to the deep chagrin of every cop I know. I started on coffee while Cole gripped the arms of my client chair and hoisted himself up in a straight line before sitting down like a normal person. What a show off. Sherry's innocent. I know it in my gut, and my gut's never lied to me once. Our legal system is an abject failure. You're my last hope for that gal. He broke into tears. How does a blank check sound for a retainer? Is that okay? Yes, sir. Consider my arm twisted. Blank checks are fine, and Kermit the Frog is green. That's chapter 1. The Sandy and Sherry Sunshine Good Time Variety Show, which is based on the Sunny and Cher show, which we used to watch before.
Yeah, dude, I gotta say, the Gucci bag must have been big enough for the 45, because the 45 is a big piece, man.
Well, it's create artistic license.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
Johnny Birth.
No, it was great, Johnny. And then to finish up the show, we're really happy. We got 50 minutes. Johnny we should have done this from the very beginning, but I thought about it later, and it's better late than never. And sometimes getting a break is better late than never. And in that being said, Johnny likes to finish up with, he's already done one in the episode, but he's got another one, I'm sure, always.
I do. Did you bring a book? I have 2 books.
I did.
Okay, let's see your book.
Oh, you've always wanted to see my book, Johnny.
The cover's enough.
That's all you're going to see, bro.
Keep what's inside yourself, no offense.
Yeah. Believe me, you wouldn't want to have to see it.
I'd have to stand back, right?
No, you pass out. You pass out. You probably do a faceplant.
Or the self-help nights.
Anyways, this is a book I've had for years, and I don't read the entire book. I read chapters. So if I'm dealing with a certain issue, I go to this book, because the chapters are broken down, and it's one of these guys, Deepak Chopra, who I read, who is the author of, and many authors of, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success.
I've read a couple of his books.
Yeah, and we do a lot of episodes with kind of a Deepak Chopra vibe. Johnny and I are very much into it. In our 60s, we're into, like, taking care of the vessel and the mind and the spirit and the soul, and this kind of goes along. And this is Robert Hold'em is a PhD. He's very popular. He's a New York Times bestseller. He's been around for a long time. And his book, called Success Intelligence, by Robert Hold'em, PhD, I've had for at least 20 years. And I've actually never read the entire book, but I just read it in chapters. And it's just one of my go-tos, that when I'm feeling, I'm not, the confidence level is, for whatever reason, not there, or I need some instantaneous gratification or guidance, or I need a direction to go to the white light of love, follow that path. And sometimes those entrances are not lit, and it's a guiding principle. And education and intuitiveness are something that I really pride myself on, being intuitive and listening to my soul, my spirit, my heart, and the guidance from my angels. They're all around us, and mine speak very loudly. And if I don't listen to them, they're going to let me know. And they'll let me know in numerous ways.
We all need to be reminded sometimes of things that we already know.
Yeah.
And that's why, you read these self-help books, and sometimes you go, well, I already know this, but still, when you're reading it, you feel like
a gentle reminder sometimes is all you need.
A little kick in the can.
It's a gentle reminder, and really, Johnny, it's also when you meet an old friend and you get a hug from them, like something like that can be really monumental.
I need to get you on a better path. Well, I brought 2 books today. Okay. I couldn't help myself. Terrible waste of money. I know I should wait to come to the library. I had to get this at Indigo today. This is the latest Jack Ryan book. Now, Jack Ryan's been president of the United States for the last 30 years in these books.
Yeah.
It's the only issue I have. They never
Yeah.
explain that. They always take place in present day, and Jack Ryan is always the president. I guess they're rebooting it, or rebooking it, or rebooting it every time. But
No,
anyway,
Jack Ryan had the idea of eliminating the
I guess
Constitution
they must have. Maybe it's a
before
Ryan.
the orange Cheeto diaper wearing Mussolini dude. And
No
so
more elections.
I'm telling you, man. But it's a page turner and it's a lot of fun. I totally get it. What's your other book, Johnny?
And I saw this at the library today. I'm a hopeless nerd. I had to get this. This is the original
The Flash.
Comic books from the 1960s. And
Wow.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. No, I'm 60 years old. But I read the first page. And look how beautiful it is. It's shiny and it's brand new. And look, I read this stuff, again, like reading your self-help books. It helps me feel a little bit more positive about life.
Totally.
Okay, here's my pun. I was at Vancouver International Airport yesterday, and I had breakfast at Tim Hortons. I was very disappointed with their selection of donuts. They only sell plain donuts.
Oh my God! When you're laughing at your own puns, it's how can you not laugh? If the person that's telling the pun is laughing uncontrollably, you have to laugh, right?
It doesn't take a lot to make me laugh, obviously.
Obviously, no. I mean, cheap date. By the way, Johnny's single. Ladies, if you're interested in writers and people that work out, his body fat percentage is less than 6%.
You have a pulse.
He is less than 6%. He's tall. He's like 6 foot and slender. And honestly, if you like a good laugh and you're a really good listener,
you have to like karaoke.
And you have to like karaoke and beer and writing. And if there's someone out there and you're lonely, trust me, all you need to do is meet Mr. John Leister, and he will transform the remainder of your life in 2 ways. One that is the most successful thing that you could never have dreamt, or the other could be, that was the biggest decision I should have never made. In the meantime, it's subjective interpretation. We all want to be positive out there. Thank you for joining us at the Canadian Bro Show. My name is Paul Bale. I'm the founder and host of the Canadian Bro Show. My co-host of the most, one of them anyways, is John Leister, and the other is Trent Rowley, and a variety of guests that we bring onto the show on a regular basis. At the Canadian Bro Show on YouTube is the channel. And at the end of the day, we're really happy to have our 60th episode. It's quite amazing. We've actually done 100 episodes as of tomorrow. It will be 100 episodes in 1 year. So I'm extremely proud of the team and what we've done at the Canadian Bro Show. There's a lot of room for improvement and growth. If you enjoy this type of content and you like the show and you like free entertainment and appreciate the time and effort that we put into the show over the year, we certainly appreciate you to support and like and comment, share, whatever you can do for that. We appreciate that. And we want to say thank you again for the 110 subscribers that we have currently. We're on a road to 500. We thank you kindly for your time. It's valuable. And I thank Johnny once again. And we're a couple of days left in the end of this year, and we wish everyone a happy and better 2026. And Happy New Year. And we hope you come back to the Canadian Bro Show. There's about 87% of people that watch the show that are not subscribed. So it really helps us. Just take the time to subscribe. You just pause the video, hit the little subscribe button that's below Johnny on the right-hand side of the screen. And you can pause it and like and comment. Tell us what you think. Well, Johnny and I answer every single comment on the Canadian Bro Show. In the meantime, Johnny, thank you kindly. We're going to sign off right now. I'm going to end recording, and I wish everybody a happy new year, a safe happy new year, and be kind out there, everyone. Do something kind. Don't expect anything. Just be friendly and understand that your world probably is a lot better than the vast majority of the world's out there. In the meantime, we love you here at the Canadian Bro Show. Love you, Johnny.
Love you too, bro.
And we'll see you next week. And Trent, wherever you are, if you're in a thong drinking eggnog and it's a snow blizzard in St. Paul and you're in the 16th hole in your jacuzzi, God bless you. If you're wearing a pink tutu, who cares? Just have a great time. In the meantime, everybody,
wash that thong.
Peace, kind, and happiness. We love you at the Canadian